From the very early age, we are made to believe that failure equates to losing. Failing is basically, it's just the result you didn't expect. That's all. It's not that you are failing from in your own eye, you are failing in the society or stuff like that. मार्टिन सेलिगमैन ने एक 3P model of resilience बोला है, and I really like that theory. It's called learned optimism theory, which explains that people integrate negative events to 3 dimensions. एक है permanence, एक है pervasiveness, एक है personalization. अच्छा, क्या है permanence? जब कुछ चीजें होता है हम लोग इमीडिएटली सोचते हैं कि ये इटर्निटी के लिए है. सो इट्स लाइक अ परमानेंट इन आवर लाइफ. कुछ खराब चीजें हो रहा है तो परमानेंट है. सो इट्स नॉट परमानेंट, इट्स एवरीथिंग इज टेम्पररी, एवरीथिंग इज लाइक कमिंग एंड गोइंग, साइक्लिकल. जो मेंटली थोड़ा रेजिलिएंट है और रेजिलिएंट इंडिविजुअल, रादर हम इसको ऑप्टिमिस्टिक भी बोल सकते हैं, वो इसको देखते हैं कि दीज थिंग्स आर वेरी टेम्पररी. नाउ pervasiveness, which is resilient people localize failure and prevent them from affecting other areas of life. मान लो कि मेरे को एक नौकरी का इंटरव्यू देने के I failed in that interview, they will think, okay, I failed in this part only. It's not a failure throughout my whole life. But जो लोग ज्यादा ऑप्टिमिस्ट नहीं होते हैं वो सोचते हैं कि this setback will infect all areas of my life. And the last he said about personalization, which is resilient people attribute bad events to external circumstances or others. लेकिन जो pessimist होता है वो अपने ऊपर वो blame ले लेता है, which is sometimes okay, but emotionally it's more draining and it takes more time to come back from that upset mentality.
Goutam, you raised a very interesting concept of resilience. In our Indic system is known as Atati Shakti. Atati Shakti is resilience. It's a Shakti is an energy, power, energy within. Atati Shakti. If you walk, you will fall. There is no question about that. If you run, you will stumble. There's no question about that. It's only when you make that cold call will you either get rejected or you may get some acceptance. It's only when you make that effort of going out and making a business plan and presenting it to someone will you know whether your business plan is being accepted or your business plan is being rejected. जब आप कुछ करोगे तभी आपको मालूम पड़ेगा कि कुछ होने वाला है या नहीं होने वाला है. जब आप करते हो तो हाँ, एक डर सा होता ही है कि मैं जो कह रहा हूँ वो एक्सेप्ट होगा नहीं होगा. Will this be done? Will this not be done? What happens if it is not done? Should I have a plan B? This whole plan B thinking. When you want to do something, if you can very quickly internalize into your thinking this whole concept of Abhayam. What is the meaning of Abhayam? It's a beautiful word, Abhayam. Abhayam is chapter 16 of the Bhagavad Gita, in which Krishna starts by putting down, saying these are certain qualities of a good person. Bhaya is fear. Every human being on earth has some fear or the other in life. Fear is natural. Fear is good. There's nothing wrong with fear. You must have a certain amount of fear. And it's perfectly all right to have fear. Except that fear should not paralyze you into inaction. And that is what we call the fear of failure. Okay, the fear of failure paralyzes you into inaction. So you won't make that business plan. You won't go and give that exam. You won't study. You won't make that call. Why? Because you fear of failure. That is the other problem. So that is Bhaya. Abhay is to be fearless, is to be someone who's overcome fear. But sometimes what can happen with Abhay is it can lead you into a little bit of foolishness. You can become a little foolhardy. You can become brave without any context. And that is a challenge. Whereas our beautiful Indic concept of Abhayam is fearlessness. So what does fearlessness mean? When we add the word ness, the whole context of fearless changes. Fearlessness means that I am so confident of myself that should I stumble, I will regain my stride. Should I fall, I will get up on my own and walk again. Should I face any adversity in life, anything at all, I will not allow myself to be down there. I will get up and start reconstructing my life again. It is but natural in today's day and age that you will stumble, you will fall, things won't go your way. There will be months in which, as a consultant, there is no business that's coming. And there will be months in which you are overwhelmed with the kind of work that you're able to get. It's natural. That's life. Look at the war that is happening right now in Iran. And whoever realized that the Strait of Hormuz is going to be closed, and because of which across the world we're facing repercussions in terms of fuel and diesel not being available. So entire businesses are going through a crisis. Now, what you talked about, permanence, pervasiveness, and personalization, right? Now, the whole point is this with Abhayam. Abhayam means that I have developed the confidence in myself that irrespective of what happens to me today, I am going to bounce back. That is fearlessness. So all these three concepts that you talked about, Seligman's 3Ps model, are incorporated in Abhayam. But we have to add to Abhayam another very interesting concept called Na Atimanita. What does Na Atimanita mean? In certain contexts, it means self-control, but I take it Na Atimanita as humility. Now, why is humility important? You must develop the confidence in yourself that you will bounce back. But at the same time, that should not lead to a situation of arrogance. You must not become so arrogant in yourself that irrespective of what happens to me, I will bounce back. That is fantastic. That's a great thing. At the same time, you must have the humility to continue to keep learning about your particular domain, about your subject. You must have that humility to go seek out someone who knows more than you in that particular subject, to go and talk to them. Because not every situation is the same. Markets change, markets are different. I talked to you about Iran a little earlier. Whoever knew this is something that is going to happen to us? Nobody. So is there somebody who can teach me? Is there somebody who I can approach and learn from? Is there some way, can I get into AI and ask AI saying, okay, how do I pivot my business at this point of time? What are some interesting models? I must have that humility. So it is not just that feeling. The 3P model that he talks about is very interesting. But you need to bring these two things together, Abhayam and Na Atimanita. So you must have that humility. Gautamji, I have a 19-year-old coach who's based in Mysore, and he coaches me every day on AI, on how I have to now transition into an AI world. And it's this young boy who's coaching me on a day-to-day basis, every day. Between 8:30 and 9, I'm on a call with him, whichever part of the world I am in. And we sit together and we explore. Now that is the humility that you need. I can't turn around and say, what is this rubbish here? I'm a 65-year-old man. I've got 44, 45 years of experience in this world. What will this young 19-year-old teach me? Big mistake. A number of CEOs that I meet think they know all the answers. They don't. And I keep telling them again and again and again and again, my friends, your brands work in the marketplace. They're not built in boardrooms. And if your brand is being built in the marketplace, then you must have the humility to speak to the guy or the girl who's closest to the market. So your sales guys, your production guys, your quality guys, your procurement guys, those are the people who are closest to the market. Go speak to them and teach them fearlessness. Teach them Abhayam, saying, come on, don't worry, I'm backing you. Both of these are a great way of ensuring that whatever work you are doing as the CEO of the company, as the owner of the company, you may be an entrepreneur, you may be a sports person, you may be a student, you may be whoever. Bringing these two things into your life, Abhayam and Nahatimanita, is to my mind the sure short recipe for success.
जेम्स कार ने एक बुक लिखा था विच बिकेम वेरी पॉपुलर, एटॉमिक हैबिट्स। वहां पे उसने 3 स्टेज की बात किया है। वन इज टैक्टिस, वन इज स्ट्रेटेजी एंड वन इज विजन। तो कोई काम अगर आपको करना है या आप फेल कर रहे हो या आपको नया कुछ करना है, जो भी है, फर्स्ट इज आपको हाउ, मतलब कैसे, क्या क्या हो सकता है, ये आपको टैक्टिस लेवल पे ठीक करना पड़ेगा। देन इट कम्स टू द स्ट्रेटेजी, लाइक what exactly we have to do. First is how, then is what, और लास्ट जो विजन है सारे लीडर्स को और बिजनेस एंटरप्रेन्योर्स को, सबको ये चाहिए, why we are doing this or why we are making mistakes or why we are taking this step. तो लास्टली हम एक सेल्फ कंपैशन थियरी है, डॉक्टर कर्स्टन नीफ ने इसको डेवलप किया था। At the end of the day, we have to be a bit of a compassion towards ourselves and towards our people. Because without that compassion, without that love, we can't actually build the trust we need. And without that trust, we can't take the big leap.
In the next episode, we will be exploring Jnana and Vijnana.
So float, ride, and live authentically in an untangled way. Thanks for watching.